Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Onyx, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday. Seems like we haven't seen y'all since last year. What's up, Jamie?
Just chilling through a Pineapple Express, getting ran by a cyclone, a bomb cyclone here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, you know, got some rain and all, but it's like kind of, you know, went from being subtropical, nightmarish cold to back to like 80 degrees today. So, but it's raining now. So got that to do. It's supposed to get cold again tomorrow. Up and down and back and forth. This is like yo-yo Florida winter weather.
Yeah, I was wanting to see that Newsmax article where segment where they're talking about activists going out there and literally putting stuff in the air to create global warming.
Yeah. You know, that's speaking of weird weather like that. We've had some really heavy duty fog the last few days, and check. I was like echoing or something weird. Anyways, we've had some really weird fog like heavy duty fog, and Darcy and me were driving around the other day, and she was like, "I don't like this fog. It's creepy. Bad things come out of the fog." And I'm like, yeah, this is weird fog, you know. And we were talking about it, and then I go in the grocery store, and I'm talking to the cashier, you know, because I always try to go through the line, you know, with a real human instead of that automated self-checkout crap. And yeah, so I go through her line, and she's like, "Oh, you know, how was your New Year's?" and blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, you know, we stayed home, didn't do anything." Said I worked on a bike pretty much all evening, and said with all the heavy duty fog and stuff, I figured it wasn't a good idea to be out driving on New Year's Eve during all that anyway. And she was like, "Yeah, that's no normal fog out there though." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "No," she is, "when you go outside, smell it. It's not normal. It's not normal fog. I just had a customer that came through and they were telling me the same thing." Like, I
smell it.
Yeah. And it did have a kind of a weird smell. I don't know.
Like what?
Kind of like, I don't know, chemically. I mean, granted, I was in a parking lot, and, you know, I could have been, who knows, smelling whatever. But when I went outside, I was smelling the fog, and I was like, it does kind of have a weird smell to it. I don't know. Maybe could be just my tinfoil brain, you know.
Well, they admit they seed clouds. That's not a lie. We all see the chemtrails. You can call it what you want, but we don't know what they're doing with it, but they're doing something. And a lot of us that are sensitive, like myself and my sister in Vegas, can actually call that we're about to be sick after seeing certain patterns. And she, gets these horrible bloody noses. And one gentleman I talked to out here said, he calls them skyriders, said one day he was looking up and this big glop of slime fell from it and landed on top of his car. Like, just disgusting things. So, they're doing all sorts of things up there with the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, I know things have changed with, gas and jet fuel and this and that over the years, but for the most part, gas and jet fuel and stuff like that, for the most part, are still the same. So I wonder why, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when you see pictures of the sky, you never saw like chemtrails or, comtrails from the Joe. They're just, jet exhaust. You never saw that in the nowadays you do. So what changed?
Exactly. And every once in a while you see a jet go off and you see the contrail, you see it disappear right after. But when they're putting like grids that go across the whole entire city and making webs, and then you're watching it actually blur out to fill in the gaps, and then they look like clouds. All of a sudden we went from a clear day to a cloudy day. It's like, those aren't clouds though. And you see like these domes, and then my sister sending me pictures from, Vegas, the same thing. And I've been talking about this, for 13 years, people telling me, put on your tinfoil hat, blah, 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 you're crazy. Well, yeah, we do have crop dusters up in Brentwood up here. They fly low. They spray, for bugs on the crops.
Yeah.
Crop dusting does not look like what this is. You'll see 4 or 5 planes working together. Sometimes they even camouflage behind clouds, and you see them going up and doing their little crap.
Yep.
Doing something up there, but we're not supposed to ask about it because we're crazy and nothing to see here.
Yeah, exactly.
And 100% royal.
Moving on. Nothing to see. Don't look up. Yeah,
that's given.
Looking through some pictures. I have one picture. These are a bunch of pictures that I have that I took the other day when we were on a bike ride, but I have some pictures somewhere that one of them, the sky was just like crisscrossed with lines. Just not, not normal. But yeah, like the fog is like, even, like I saw it coming in, rolling in, and it's just like this wall of funk. But then like when I came out the other night, just looking at it with the parking lot lights, it had like this yellow kind of, fog's not supposed to be yellow.
Down in Tennessee, a girl did a video like that with the pier, and she's like, oh my god, this fog is so weird. She's like, you don't even see the pier.
Yeah, weird. Who knows?
And it's weird that you're saying it's chemically, because like the past couple months, or about a month and a half, I've been saying that the water smells. And okay, we got a water treatment plant. Livermore does use reclaimed water for like our agriculture, says it on the freeway. But I was like filling up the cat's water out back, and like I'm smelling the container. I'm like, this doesn't smell right. And have my mom smell it. I'm tasting it and everything, but it's like, what is this? And she goes, maybe they're putting extra chlorine in it. I'm like, I don't know, but why is our water smelling like that? Like, it just seemed too much. It just seemed really weird. Like, why does our drinking water smell like this?
Yeah.
And it's winter. It's not like we're having like algae bloom. I don't know. Just a lot of weird things that they just don't want us to question.
Yep. Don't ask questions.
Just go along with it. Bisquick doesn't taste the same either as Pillsbury. I had to look up to see what companies are actually using the cricket powder now, because I ate that croissant and when my mom said it didn't taste right, I'm like, this could be cricket paste. It got in my head. I'm like, no longer is this my clean food.
Yeah.
You know, they got all these bugs out there to substitute for protein and all that, and I don't trust them. I'm like, okay, so what other word will it be listed under if it just doesn't straight say cricket, you know, on the thing? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
oats and all that is like,
They listed under a different name. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but yeah, it's called something else. And if you look at the back of, you know, if you go in the grocery store, like go down the cracker aisle, for instance, and you pick up a box, it's really hard to find a brand that if you look at the very bottom, it'll have contains bioengineered food product. It's like, what the hell is
the
that?
hell?
Huh?
Holy hell.
And like 98% of everything down the cracker aisle. And that's just the crackers. So that's not including the pancake mix and everything else that you find in the store. Look at the bottom. It'll say contains bioengineered food product.
I guess I've never looked at my crackers like that.
Yeah. It's hard to find crackers that don't say that, that don't have that. Crackers are
I mean, there's preservatives and then there's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We already know that they put different stuff in our food than they do in the exact same food by the same exact manufacturers in different countries. Things like cancer eats sugar. That's been like coming out more and more, that like people who are like surviving or they didn't think they would, they're actually fasting and cutting out the sugar, and then it comes out that when they looked at it on a petri dish, whatever, the cancer goes after the sugar. Like, it loves the hell out of sugar.
Yep. Yeah, anybody that I've known that's had cancer of any kind always like craves candy and sugar and stuff. And yeah. I mean, you get to a point where screw it, you just, you know, I mean, if you're on the way out and whatever, eat what the hell you want. But
I mean, if you're trying to prevent things, it's like all this processed food. Bill Gates buying up all this land. You know, they won't even let you pick a plant out of the ground and smoke it. They say no, in certain states, it has to be processed into gummies and stuff first to be legal. Pulling the plant, natural plant, no. Wait till we process it. They're making it illegal in some places to even farm your own food. They're making it harder for us to actually take our own food into our own hands and eat clean and eat what we want to eat. You know, we're going to have to do a lot of that coming up, and they're wanting us to eat these processed weird concoctions that they're giving us, and it's killing us.
Yeah. And bioengineered foods, you know, mainly, I mean, it's like genetically modified stuff, you know. I'm looking at a list right now. I mean, there's stuff on there that you know, I mean, pretty much everybody knows that corn has been genetically modified. Corn's just, I think all corn is genetically modified now, but alfalfa, Arctic apples, canola, cotton, eggplant, papaya, pineapple, the pink flesh pineapple, some potatoes, salmon, which I eat a ton of, soybeans, squash, sugar beets. Yeah, I mean, there's all this stuff.
Soybeans?
Yep.
Oh, no.
It's like everything's genetically modified.
Why are they genetically modifying a soybean? To make them prettier?
Who knows? Yeah, make them grow faster, make them grow bigger, make more money. Who knows, you know? Greed.
Who? So I want
Yeah,
to grow my own soybeans. Damn it.
yeah, I agree with you, Zariana, that the meat in the store not only looks weird, but it's starting to taste weird, and this like
Yes.
the texture is weird.
Yes. My mom got a cornmeal beef the other day. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I started buying grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics. Grass-fed beef. It's a little more expensive, and it tastes a whole hell of a lot better. But yeah, regular. I don't know, man. Everything's changing, not for the better.
No.
And I'm not eating the fake meat. Sorry, I just rather not eat it all because I don't know what in the fork is in that.
No, I just want to get my garden pods and like I've already like beat into your head my plan for what I want to grow and I can survive off that. We were learning how to make our own butter. We're learning how to make the staples, getting a sun oven, just
Yeah,
prepping for the worst, praying for the best.
and the government doesn't want you doing that.
They do not. That's not in their best interest to have us being self-reliant whatsoever.
Mm-mm. They don't want you doing that. You can't take care of yourself. You need us to take care of you.
Yes, they want us to rely on them fully.
Yeah.
And those who don't or question or think for themselves are called the most horrible names.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, considered the most biggest monsters just because, we question some stuff.
Yep.
It's not to be a dick. It's because we care and don't want to see, everybody be miserable the rest of their life. Like look at China, look at Korea, like look at what we're following close behind what we're turning into. I don't want that for your kids.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I don't know. But we got some good stories tonight. News stories.
We do. Because it's a new year.
Yeah, that falls into line with what we're talking about.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, a couple of the articles do. I know one of yours does, and this first one that I'm going to do does. If I can make it share. There we go. Nostradamus predicted cannibalism.
Oh, no.
And a celestial fire on Mars in 2023. Yeah, welcome to the new year. It's going to be hell on Earth.
You said it to my mom.
And Nostradamus predicted. Take it with a grain of salt. When I read the article, you'll kind of get. But I don't know.
Because it's all interpretation.
Yeah.
But still.
Says the world's most prolific seer had a few things to say about the events of the next 12 months. Michael de Nostradamus, who lived in the 16th century in France, was well known for his predictions of the future. That his name has been so well known that his name has become synonymous with the idea of prophesizing future events. He wrote a book, Les Prophéties, which is still analyzed and referenced even to this day. Exactly however his writing should be interpreted, however, remains up to the individual, with some arguing that he has correctly predicted many major events and others maintaining that his predictions are way too vague to say for sure one way or the other. For 2023, Nostradamus made a few intriguing predictions, including the following. Then, this is the way he said it. No abbots, monks, no novices to learn. Honey shall cost far more than candle wax. So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair. His fellow man to eat in his despair. So is he saying that things are going to be so pricey and food's going to cost so much that people are going to start eating people? Or does it just kind of fall into fit that? So it's easy to imagine that this refers to the current cost of living crisis, even seems to suggest that being unable to afford food, people will resort to cannibalism. Another prediction for 2023 is as follows. 7 months, Great War. People dead through evil. Ruin Evrux shall fall to the king. Could this be a reference to the war in Ukraine or something else? Then again, perhaps it doesn't relate to any real world events at all. To round out his predictions, Nostradamus, Nama, Banama, also referred reference of an apparent disaster on Mars, or more specifically, a celestial fire when the lights of Mars will go out. Could this relate to a future mission to Mars? You decide. I don't know. Dude, whether you think they're predictions or not, he was pretty insightful into the future.
For real.
For putzing around the old globe that long ago, making predictions that far ahead. Pretty bold.
I can't find your actual article sender, but I see other ones. You see how it's saying the shit's changing as I'm trying to look it up?
Yeah.
It won't even let me copy and paste it.
Yeah, you have to be pretty hungry to eat, a person.
I'll be munching the lawn.
Yeah.
To get that sound right. I'll be munching grass.
Yeah.
I'll be foraging. I'll be getting my lines made up in Santa Cruz. So I'll take my electric bike down to Santa Cruz and pick my mushrooms. No, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But no, human is not. If I don't want to eat like chicken, yeah, I'm not eating Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it grosses me out, there's I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff I could find to eat besides that, and I don't need meat like that.
Yeah.
Get some chickens and have eggs.
Again, that's only for those who want to be able to take care of themselves.
My French chickens are laying all sorts of weird shaped eggs all of a sudden.
I was getting eggs from a friend of mine. He's got, I think he's got 26 chickens. He was having a shitload of eggs, and I'm like, hey, I'll buy, 2 dozen a week or dozen and a half a week or whatever. And it was going good for a while. And then all of his chickens just quit laying eggs. I talked to him the other day. He's like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
See, that's what I mean. And it's not the only chicken. Like, they're squeezing these little tiny weird shaped, different colored little like poo-poo eggs out. Some are long and weird and oval. Some are perfectly round, like little teeny tinies. Green, yellow, red. I mean, brown.
Yeah.
Like, weird. Why are chickens not laying eggs all of a sudden? What are they doing?
Exactly.
I don't trust anything.
Yeah, I don't trust nothing.
I didn't trust nothing before. I don't trust really nothing now. Like, before I could at least laugh at myself and go, dude, you are a little bit nuts. Like, chill the hell out.
Yeah.
Just chill out. I told myself that on 2020 New Year's. I said, don't cry, you jackass. It's like Y2K. Everything's going to be fine. But no. Yeah. Okay, what do we got here? Chickens. Yeah, maybe something is being put in their feed because they're getting things at the source like that.
Yep.
Amoxicillin is going like extinct. Like, I'm hearing moms trying to call like the doctors. I can't wait 5 days for this other medicine. My daughter's got an ear infection right now. The amoxicillin is like gone. It's a shortage, and they're giving all these like strep. So you need antibiotics for strep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like, how are these things that go hand in hand having these problems?
Yep. Just like Royal says, there's no reason for the crazy spike in food prices and all that. Other than there's a plan behind it.
There is a plan, the 2030 agenda.
Shit has been growing for thousands of years. There's no reason for it to not be growing now. There's no reason for our government to be telling farmers not to grow food.
And buying their farms out. The biggest dairy farm in the shit Jacoby and them tried to save, they bank spotted out.
Yeah. I don't know. Mischief. Governmental mischief. Better be quiet or they'll shut us down. They don't like us talking about them. Shh. I'm not going to shh. Can't shush me up.
What you can't take it all away from me, and if you can, I'm not going to go down quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were just talking right before the show, the whole thing, like the NFL guy the other day, 24-year-old guy that just bam, just like went down hard. They had an excuse for it right away. But at the same time, telling Jamie, there's a doctor on YouTube, like literally minutes, less than 5 minutes after this happened. He's on YouTube talking about, it was a myocardial infraction, blah, blah. It had nothing to do with, being vaccinated or anything like that. They just don't want to talk about that. But can it happen? Sure, it could happen. But you can't deny that in the last couple of years, there's been a shitload of people young. This dude was 24, has a heart attack.
And it's not because you drink 2 or more cups of coffee. Don't listen to that. They know every American drinks coffee.
If that happened, it would have been happening that way for years and years and years.
But now that's what it is. People who drink 2 or more cups of coffee are more susceptible to microcard.
Yeah.
I just sent you.
There's been a lot of people dropping dead at a very young age. And yeah, it ain't because of global warming.
Exactly, Debbie. Exactly. Our Earth is supposed to change too. We've had the ice age, we have the moon wobble that's going to do things to things that, it's not set in stone. Things change. The Earth has changed. So, it's natural. It's not because of this bullshit that they're trying to feed people. I sent you, I was going to do this, but then I forgot about it, and I thought it was funny. I'll do it really fast. Are you able to put that up?
Let me.
The Cousin Eddie, because that's kind of funny, and it just goes to show how stupid people are at the same time. So while he's pulling that up, people. We've all seen the movie National Lampoon's Holiday Vacation. So the police were called after a Cousin Eddie holiday display spooks neighbors. So they got this mannequin and they reenacted, the scene. The police were called to the scene of a man allegedly exposing himself outside a home, only to find out it was simply an elaborate tribute to a beloved Christmas movie. When police arrived on scene on December 21st, they were relieved to learn that no crime occurred that day. It was just a mannequin belonging to a super fan. A dispatcher described the scene as that of a male standing outside. So the dispatcher described the scene as that of a male standing outside. He is naked. He has a robe covering part of his body. He is exposing himself, and he's got a hose between his legs. When officers got there, they did not find a man in a robe exposing himself. They did not find a man at all. Instead, they found a mannequin dressed as Cousin Eddie, the foul-mouthed character. So what happened was they all ended up taking selfies with the mannequin and called it a day.
Yeah.
But in the amount of time they went to call the police, like they didn't notice this dude was not moving.
And he's not naked. I mean, he's wearing a robe. He could have underwear on underneath there. It's not like his, flabberty rabbits are hanging out.
I mean, doesn't it look like a typical neighbor walking out in their robe?
Yeah.
So that was my Karen rant for the day.
Yeah. How about a cold one, Clark? Oh, sure, Eddie. Okay, here, finish this one up.
Yeah. Good times.
Absolutely. Yeah. The jab, the stab. Well, I've never told anybody, I've never preached about not getting it to anyone. You're crazy if you get, hey, you do what you want. Some of my family got it. My brother called me the other day and he's like, I was thinking about getting that next booster shot. What do you think? And I'm like, you know what I think. I said, you do you, but you ain't putting that shit in me. Sorry. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. I'm like, hey, I didn't talk you out of it the first time, but I said it wasn't for me. And I still stick by that. And then one of my friends the other day was talking about it. And I've heard stories from other people. My wife is a nurse. I've heard stories from her about somebody that had flu A, flu B, and COVID, tested positive for all three, but had no symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And so my friend the other day was saying, well, I've had the vaccination and you've had COVID, and the first time you had it was pretty scary. You thought you were going to die. I'm like, yeah, it sucked. The second time wasn't near as bad. I said, but you've had it too, Yeah, but my symptoms weren't really bad. And I said, so what's worse? Is having COVID and having full-blown symptoms, is that worse than, say, you're vaccinated, you've got COVID, but you got no symptoms? I said, which one's worse? And she's like, well, I think, having symptoms and everything, that would obviously be worse. And I said, well, I look at it as you might have it, you got no symptoms, but you're out spreading it to everybody you know.
Not only that, but it's sitting in the weak spots of your body, ready to
so at
do
least
what it does.
Yeah,
what it's programmed to do.
Yeah. So at least if I'm sick and I know I got, obviously got symptoms, I'm keeping my ass at home. I'm not exposing myself to other people. Whereas you could have it and not even know it and just be super spreading it. So yeah, we stopped our conversation about that pretty quickly.
Is that am I you or is it me or you?
You. Yeah, my wife's a nurse too, and yeah, they told her she needed to get it, and she said no. And she just recently had COVID again. We live in the same house. I didn't get it.
All right, we've got Bigfoot, Bees, and Bodies, the weirdest and most bizarre crime stories of 2022, according to Fox News. A couple of these we've already read, some of them skip them over that they added in. As 2022 comes to an end, there was no shortage of bizarre crime stories throughout the year that had readers scratching their heads. The bad deeds involved everything from bees, a giant stuffed teddy bear, and a wedding reception that went off the rails because of marijuana-laced food. Florida jogger used martial arts to fight off attacker who wanted his body for fantasies. A Florida teen... Wait a second, does that go with it?
I don't know. It just stopped for me for a minute.
A Florida teenager had his plans thwarted when he allegedly attempted to kill a jogger so he could keep the body in a closet to fulfill his sexual fantasies, authorities said. Logan Smith, 18, of Cocoa near Orlando, had a rubber mallet, a can of Axe body spray, a belt for my robe, and a sheet laid out in the driveway of his residence to assist in his plot. The defendant walked directly across his street, where he hid behind a light pole. He placed the mallet and the Axe aerosol on the ground next to him while he waited for the victim to come running down the street as he did regularly for exercise. What he didn't count on was the fighting skills of the jogger, who overpowered Smith using martial arts. He was detained until deputies arrived. Investigators said Smith admitted to watching the victim's routine for about 6 weeks and made the decision to kill him after watching a movie that showed violent, murderous acts. He reportedly detailed he was going to kill the victim by strangulation before dragging his body into his home on the bedsheet. And then there was the Oklahoma man allegedly killed a friend while fishing because he thought the victim would feed him to Bigfoot. An Oklahoma man allegedly killed his friend over the summer because he thought the victim had summoned Bigfoot to kill him while they were out fishing.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Larry Dahl Sanders, 53, had gone noodling or fishing with bare hands with his friend when they got in a confrontation. Sanders told authorities he struck and strangled Knighton. His body was found near the river the next day. And so, yes, Larry advised he believed Jimmy was trying to get away from him so that the Sasquatch could eat Larry. The agent reportedly wrote in the report, Larry would not let Jimmy get away. Larry punched Jimmy and struck Jimmy with a stick. Larry and Jimmy fought for an extended amount of time on the ground. And then we have a Massachusetts woman unleashed a swarm of bees on deputies serving an eviction notice. She was serving the notice. Deputies were met with protesters outside the home. She put on a beekeeper suit to protect herself. She started shaking the hive and broke the cover off, causing hundreds of bees to swarm out and initially sting one deputy, according to the report. Several of the deputies and employees were stung, including 3 who were allergic to bees. Oh, you're allergic? Good, she reportedly said. One staff member was taken to the hospital. She pled not guilty and was released without bail. Then there was a Eugene car thief caught hiding in a giant stuffed teddy bear. We all remember this one. So I'm not going to read that again. And we remember the Florida bride who allegedly laced wedding food with pot. Grins as deputies arrived, the body cam shows. We all remember that. So those were some of the top crime stories of 2022, according to Fox News.
Classic. Although, chucking a swarm of bees, I mean, that's a pretty good one. You don't see that happening.
That's savage.
Yeah, really. Oh, you're allergic? Good.
And they let her out?
Really?
Who's she know?
Yeah. Speaking of stupid stuff, crimes, I got up this morning, I was sitting there drinking my coffee, hanging out on the couch, watching YouTube videos, and this one pops up. and it says, I was arrested for YouTube videos. I'm thinking, what? So I click on it and I'm watching. It's this guy. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he makes car videos. And the guy owns a gym, has his own business, got, a good business going, but he makes car videos, and, he's into the Mopar scene and all that. And he had videos on his YouTube channel of like street racing and stuff, but they were videos from years ago. Anyway, he's gets up one morning, goes to work. He's on his way to work. He stops and gets coffee, and he comes out, and there's some cops out there. He said when he was leaving his house, he saw a cop car right down the road from his house, and he was like, wonder what's going on here today. And he made his way to the coffee shop, came in, got coffee. He's coming out, and the same cop car is there. And they pull him over as soon as he goes to leave, and they're like, do you know what we pulled you over for? He's like, don't have a clue. And they're like, you have a warrant out for your arrest. And he's like, what? He thought they were screwing with him. And they're like, no, and they proceeded to handcuff him and put him in the car. And they had his car towed. And, he's in the back of the cop car, like, I mean, what the hell did I do? He's like, I've never been in trouble my entire life. I drink maybe once a year. I don't do drugs. I'm a gym owner and operator. I have clients that, I'm a personal trainer and blah, blah, blah. He said finally when he got down to the police station, actually not the police station, the jail, he's like, I realized I was going to jail. And they finally told me that, I forget what they charged him with, like endangering human life or whatever. I can't think of the words for that. But anyways, he found out that they arrested him, and while he was being arrested, his home was being raided by a SWAT team. They took everything he had in there, any phones, computers, laptop, took his PlayStation, everything that was electronic. They took it all. They searched his house, and a couple of the cops knew him from his YouTube channel, and they were doing their job, but they were like, this is kind of stupid. And you see him, he has cameras in his garage and everywhere, and there's a big freezer, and one of the cops goes over there, and you hear one of the other cops say, what'd you find? He opens it, and he's like, broccoli? And anyway, yeah, they arrested him for YouTube videos because they said it showed him street racing. He wasn't really street racing. He was videoing people street racing. And they arrested him for it. And then he gets arrested 2 more times within 3 weeks for the same shit. So that just shows you. And, he's like, yeah, I'm in jail. I'm in jail with criminals, meth dealers and people that have, tried to kill other people and stuff. And everybody's asking, what are you in for? What are you in for? What are you in for? They ask me, what are you in for? YouTube video. Yeah. This is the world we live in.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah. I'll try to think of the guy's name. He's got several videos out now. He was pretty heavy on YouTube, but he disappeared for 8 months because of all this. Because somebody didn't like him and reported his YouTube videos.
Probably got him mass reported with all their little troll friends.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what it resulted in. And yeah, he's got a hell of a story. Some bullshit. But yeah, nowadays you got to be careful. I'm thinking, God, I got a lot of videos on YouTube. Wonder what I could be arrested for. Anyway, the mystery of Mary Celeste still endures 150 years. Keeps going on. Okay, next. I'm a sucker for these old ship stories and whatnot. This one is one of the weird ones. You talk about ghost ships and this and that. Nobody knows what became of the crew of the infamous ghost ship, which was found adrift and deserted in 1872. Discovered in the waters off the Azores in the Atlantic Ocean on December 4th of that year. Hey, what's today? December 4th. Peculiar. The Mary Celeste, a merchant brigantine, was the focus of a mystery that still remains unsolved to this day. December 4th. The vessel was found adrift and abandoned under partial sail with one of its lifeboats missing. There was absolutely no sign of the crew, no indication of what might have happened to prompt them to abandon a ship that was, at the time of its discovery, still perfectly seaworthy. Entries found in the ship's log indicated that it had left New York City for Genoa on November 7th, with the last log entry being 10 days before the ship was found. There had been a plentiful supply of food and provisions on board. Even the cargo was intact. At the time of the fate of the crew, the Mary Celeste became a major point of contention, with theories put forward to explain their disappearance ranging from alcohol fumes to an attack by a giant squid. After the ship was recovered, it ended up being put back into service and continued to serve under a new owner until it was deliberately wrecked off Haiti in 1885 as a part of an insurance scam. Even today, 150 years ago from the disappearance of its original crew, no answers have been forthcoming and no trace of anyone who had ever been on board the ship has ever been found. Whether or not they reached wherever it was they had fled to remains a complete mystery. I don't know. The only thing they found was one missing lifeboat on an otherwise perfectly seaworthy ship. Don't make much sense. And nobody has a clue. What do you guys think? Think it was a giant squid?
They released the Kraken.
Could have.
I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah. I'm always a sucker for the old ship stories, and I thought that one was peculiarly interesting when I saw the date.
Yeah. Oh, you knew the date ahead of time?
Not until I started reading it, but yeah.
They have a whole different vibe to them.
Could have been pirates, yeah. But it seems like if it was pirates, they would have at least taken the food or something off the ship.
Yeah.
The cargo was there, all the food, everything was there.
Wait, what area was it?
It was
not like Bermuda.
It was off the Azores, I think is what it said.
So it's nowhere near any of the triangles, like Bermuda type triangles.
Let's see. Yeah, it was discovered in the waters off the Azores in the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, it wasn't Bermuda Triangle-ish. I don't know.
Very. Jason says aliens. It was not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens.
Who sank the battleship? That's the thing. It wasn't sank. Just the people were gone.
That's the trippy part.
Yeah, it's the aliens that eat people. Are the
Holy cow.
Cannibal pirates. They weren't interested in the corn and the
gold laboons.
Yeah. They were interested in the human meat. That'd be a hell of a ghost story. Hell of a piratey story on the water. Let's eat some people.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Something else I don't know about.
Yeah, this is rather interesting.
Where are we at? Oh, I wasn't doing that this week. A Thai temple left without any monks after they all failed drug tests. I didn't read that this week. I thought the headline was funny, though. Okay, here we go. A walrus wanders into a harbor, masturbates, falls asleep, and ruins New Year's fireworks.
Well, it sounds like a joke. A walrus wanders into the bar, masturbates.
New Year's fireworks celebrations were called off in a seaside Yorkshire town in the United Kingdom Saturday after a walrus decided to take a breather on the harbor's slipway. The walrus named Thor wandered into the Scarborough Harbor on Friday afternoon, seeking what wildlife experts believe was a rest on the mammal's journey north, Sky News reported. As Thor continued to stay put, the British divers Marine Life Rescue advised city officials to cancel the festivities over fear that the loud sounds and bright lights could cause distress to the mammal, the outlet continued. We welcome the decision to call off the fireworks, but understand some people will be disappointed that the display isn't going ahead, Chris Cook from the agency stated. It's extremely rare that an Arctic walrus should come ashore on the Yorkshire coast. The creature needs time to rest and recuperate before it continues its journey. That's not all the walrus has been doing during his stay in Yorkshire. Curious onlookers have revealed that Thor has been enjoying some fireworks on his own, making during his stint in Scarborough while with the hashtag wanking walrus making the rounds on social media. And I know I don't say the word right. George Edmund, an inspector for the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, encouraged those spectators to gawk at Thor's hammer from a respectful distance. We understand it's exciting and unusual to have the walrus take up a temporary residence. However, it's in his best interest to be left alone as much as possible. So we're asking people to remember he's a wild animal and to avoid the temptation to get near him and disturb him, Sky News reported. We would also like to remind everyone that the walrus is protected, so disturbing the animal may constitute an offense, he added. So they really wanted him to be able to wank in his spot. What they say about the Thor's hammer? We encourage those spectators to gawk at Thor's hammer from a respectful distance. So yeah, a walrus wanking off stopped the whole fireworks show.
Wow. What's the world coming to?
How do you explain that to your poor child?
Wanking
You say the fireworks are going to scare the walrus?
Yeah. Why is there no fireworks? Because there's a walrus whacking off. What? No, seriously.
That sounds like a kid's song. There's a walrus wanking up.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of animals, just throw this one right into the runway of speaking of animals and weird ass people. This one, this one fits into the weird, wacky world that we live in, where everybody like wants to identify as this and that, and furries and kids at school dressing like animals and petitioning to have the school put in a litter box for them. Well, now a Japanese firm makes ultra realistic dog costumes for clients. And I gotta say, there's a video that I watched it. It was just too stupid. I just couldn't put myself or anybody else through like
where they actually walk in the circles, right? They have the leashes And they prance around like an actual dog show. Is
This,
that
I
what
mean,
you're talking about?
no, this was just a dog. It was a person in a dog suit walking around in the house, and
Oh no, I've seen the people actually in the dog suits and them walking them through a dog show.
yeah. I mean, this got to, I mean, it's pretty realistic looking. Got to give them that. But ever wanted to be a dog? The Japanese country's A Pet Workshop will turn you into one for the right price. Taking the idea of role playing one step further than anyone thought possible, the company, which specializes in special effects and modeling, hit the headlines back in 2022. Doesn't that sound weird? Back in 2022, when it revealed that it had created an ultra realistic collie costume for a customer who wanted to become a dog. Didn't Iggy Pop sing about that? Be my dog. Footage of the client wearing the costume, see below, which reportedly cost around $15,000, quickly went viral. More recently, Zapet was tasked with creating something even more challenging, a wolf costume. Because of my love for animals since childhood and some realistic animal suits appearing on TV, I dreamed one day, someday, of being a wolf, the client was quoted as saying. At the final fitting, I was amazed at my transformed self in the mirror. It was a moment when my dream came true. The resulting outfit, which cost a whopping $23,000, was even more convincing than the last one, demonstrating, if nothing else, just how skilled the firm's employees are at making these ultra-realistic costumes. The process took around 50 days and involved careful examining of images and real wolves to get all the details right. Other costume designs are now being built by Zapit over the years, and they've included a bear, panda, various mascots. So for the right price, you can be the most realistic furry that you want to be now. Hey, I'm not judging anybody. I think it's weird. I'll just say that. That's my opinion. But hey, if you're going to do it right. Get as realistic as possible. Don't settle for that, $20 blow up doll. Get the real thing.
Right?
And
it's like the Kramer hat.
Yeah. I admit the video that came along with this article that I just wasn't going to play because, it's a person in a suit. You can't walk like a dog. It looked like a person in a dog suit walking like a dog. But when he was laying there,
walking like a dog.
It looked pretty realistic. I mean, they do a good job. I got to give them that. I mean, if you're wearing this suit and you're running around the park, you'd scare the hell out of a bunch of people. They'd think you saw a werewolf.
Especially like at dusk.
They'd shoot you in your $23,000 suit here in Florida. Good way to get shot. I'm put that son bitch's head on the wall. Yep. Oh, there's a person here. Yeah, it is very, very, very true.
Okay, we have New York legalizes human composting for eco-friendly burials. And Florida already started having a lot of the compost burials. They had these farms that you could go to, and it was just like another alternative. There's mixed feelings on it like everything else, but I'm not against it. But again, my paranoid mind wants to know, like, why all of a sudden you guys are like, wanting in on it too. So New Yorkers can now be king of the hill, top of the heap. Government Kathy signed legislation on Saturday to legalize natural organic reduction, better known as human composting. The move makes New York the 6th state in the country to greenlight the eco-friendly burial. New York State Assembly member and all these people co-sponsored the bill to legalize human composting as part of measures the state is putting in place to eliminate carbon emissions by 2050. See, they have an agenda. Washington became first state to legalize human composting in 2019. Colorado and Oregon followed in 21, and Vermont and California in 22. The 60-day chemical-free compost mortem process involves putting a person's remains in a vessel with organic material such as straw, alfalfa, or sawdust. Remember we watched all these videos?
Mhm.
The box is sealed and attached to an HVAC system, and the remains are allowed to decompose. At the 30-day mark, the contents are screened for inorganic material, and remaining bone is broken up and put back in. After another 30 days, the contents are returned to the family. This isn't quite like the stuff we were watching.
Yeah.
The end result is a heaped cubic yard of nutrient-dense soil, equivalent of about 36 bags of soil that could be used to plant trees or enrich conservation land, forests, or gardens that we can't have. Washington State Eco-Friendly Funeral Service Return Home, which offers human composting as a death care option, says it's gotten tons of inquiries from New Yorkers. Return Home is incredibly excited about New York's recent human composting legislation. This is a huge step for accessible green death care nationwide. So yeah, they had to throw it into a freaking Green Deal shit. Composting and fertilizing may be appropriate for vegetable clippings or eggshells, but not for our mortal remains, says Dennis. So he has a problem with it. Like my mom said, ew, then we're going to be eating food that was grown with people. There's a lot of different things. The videos we saw, it was done in a much nicer way, and the people were then put, their compost was put into like it was a whole other situation than this.
Yeah, they do one that you put into like the same basics, but then you put into like a pod that turns into a tree.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just in the graveyards the other day, in the old graveyards. Hint for one of my new bike videos coming up. We took a bike ride through all the graveyards the other day.
Ooh.
Weird, aren't we? But yeah, there's a lot of the cedar boxes. Everybody says, "Oh, they put you in a pine box." Well, they used to put you in a cedar box too, because here cedar was just as popular, if not more popular, than pine. But
because of smell too, right?
Yeah, but a lot of those cedar boxes now have turned into trees. There's trees growing out of the graves where the boxes were originally put. So
like from the actual box?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know the full blown logistics of it, but that's what it seems.
What if it grew out of a knot, like in the wood or something somehow?
Yeah, there's not just one. I mean, there's a bunch all around here, that the old graveyards that have cedar trees growing right out of the grave, like right out of where the body would be buried.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, And then I have some of that cedar woods on my front porch that came from the graveyard. Because a couple of those trees got blown over in a storm a couple years ago, and the county came by and chopped them all up. And I'm like, hey, these big cedar chunks of cedar, and I threw some in the car and brought it home. Because I'm a weirdo, and they smelled good. And now I think, man, the cedar could have grown from a person. How weird is that? From
Pretty
a person.
Interesting.
Yep.
Maybe there's my brain's just going.
So speaking of, bodies and what have you, This article kind of fits right in with that same sort of thing about burying people and all that. This one says, have we been wrong about mummification all along? And you look at this dude, man, he is wrapped up tighter than a tick. They did like a face weave on him that a rocking chair could be envious of. Wicker furniture. Some experts now believe that Egyptian mummification may have had nothing to do with preserving the bodies. For the longest time, archaeologists have subscribed to the idea that ancient Egyptians mummified the bodies of the deceased as a way to preserve them. But now, a new theory, because, now every day there's always a new theory. There's a new explanation about something. But maybe I'll just go ahead and read it. The new theory has been gaining traction, which suggests that preservation was merely a side effect of this process, and that the real reason the Egyptians mummified their dead was something else entirely. The revised theory puts forward the idea that the Egyptians had seen their kings and queens as living gods, and that turning them into statues via mummification after death would restore them. The incredible golden masks found on some mummies would have been intended as idealized depictions of their godlike selves, not portraits of the deceased as commonly believed. It's a subtle distinction, but it's an important one, said museum creator Campbell Price. The idea that the spirit returns to the body, or in some sense animates the body, is not as explicitly articulated as you might imagine. The original idea that mummification was a preservation technique has been argued. May have been originated an early Egyptiologist based on the misunderstanding of the evidence. That said, not everyone is convinced that this revised theory is accurate. The physical preservation of the body was extremely important, said archaeologist Stephen Buckley from the University of York. There's no question of that. So I don't know. What do you think? Preserve the body or keep the body intact so it could return someday? I don't know. There's a lot of weird stories about, curses, and if you disturb the body, they'll come back and get you.
It's hard to say when it comes to like people's like strong beliefs.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to your one story about the body. Let's see here. Where the hell did my whole StreamYard page just go to? There it is. Disappeared on me for a minute. Yeah, going back to your green people, green death story. I mean, a lot of I saw somebody posted it in the comments, like Thailand, other places do that. India, I think, is one of the places that, they burn the bodies. There's a special place, on the river that they do. I watched this documentary that was pretty, I mean, they believe in the whole, oh man, brain fart. What's the word? Where you come back? Reincarnation. Yes. Yeah, my brain does a lot of farting lately. Just
doesn't Thailand bury the bodies and then until like the bones are clean, then they pull the bones back up and then like char the bones or something like that?
Something like that. And then some countries, like, they're like mummified, and then like they like unbury and bring them back out for like Christmas or Thanksgiving or something, like set them around the house.
Some pull them out and dress them back up, like certain countries.
Yeah.
They like dress up the actual dead people and then they bury them back up again.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's is a real thing,
And I can't call it crazy because these are these people's like actual, belief.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm laughing because, I mean,
it's crazy for us. I mean, shit.
for us, but yeah, I mean that's their custom. That's the way they do.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to belittle them for it, but I'm just like, wow, a weekend at Bernie's, man. Have
For
Grandpa
real.
hanging out at the table, you know.
Some of these things are like terrifying. Like, you'd have to be brought up around that to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because
Imagine,
as twisted and weird as I am, I couldn't. I
yeah,
really don't think I could.
sitting at the table eating Christmas dinner with like, you know, your
That's like
grandparents.
Norman Beatty.
Yeah, like what is the movie? Chain
Mother.
Smoker, you know, you got the whole dead family sitting around the table.
Gosh,
Grandpa,
dang.
you know. But hey,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't think nothing of it. That's the way they do things. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and they could probably think that how we do our dead people is like horrible disgrace to them.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, I just bury him and forget him. Hell, we don't forget him. We party with him every year. Whoopie, you pull me out after I'm dead. I'll come back to haunt your ass. Yeah, I mean, so much for the eternal rest. You get dug up every other year, you know.
Okay,
Hey,
so I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't know. I was still talking about the bodies.
We got another TikTok time traveler. I didn't even bother uploading his TikTok videos because I was trying to make it go fast. But this TikTok time traveler, and I guess we're gonna have to wait until year 2714, you know, to know if this guy was right. Oh wait, no, he's from 2017, 2714.
2023 could show us a lot of weird things.
Wait.
Like babies born with new organs.
Oh, time traveler predicts the great wave in 2023. That's what it was. So, a mysterious time traveler from 2714 has warned that mutant babies will be born in the near future. And this might not even be a time traveler. It might be just someone who's smart. They know what's going on in the world right now, and they're just like telling you, like, yo, look what you're putting in your kids, or look what's going to happen. But he could be a time traveler. Avery Yormany, who posts online under the username aesthetic, I don't know, I'm going to try to read it, has garnered 1.2 million user following for sharing supposed warnings about global events to come. In a recent clip, which has gained more than 2,400 likes, they shared their warning for 5 major events they claim will change in the world in 2023. There was another article, Time Traveler warns a catastrophic natural disaster will hit next year. I didn't click that one. The events included everything from natural disasters to babies being born with strange new organs in just a matter of months.
Damn alien babies.
They were writing their predictions in the 30-second clip. Avery explained, many of you still don't believe me that I'm a real time traveler, so remember these 5 dates in 2023. Okay. I'll screenshot this.
Okay, Avery.
March 14th, the largest tsunami hits the U.S. West Coast called the Great Wave. Now, that's around the time they're predicting the big earthquake over here. April 28th, a baby is born with many mutations, such as new organs, and many more will come. May 7th, the disease is released from the ice caps called Vorsen X with a 40 fatality rate. I'm assuming he's talking about the zombie ice that they want to open. And October 30, a new world is discovered in the rainforest with a new species of humans. November 3rd, the first interstellar war begins between humans and the others. Although Yormanians admit that that they are who they claim to be, it's not been proven whether any of their previous claims have come to fruition. In the comments, viewers were left divided. Some chose to remain skeptical. Others chose to believe it. One user wrote, "I'm still waiting on your 2022 predictions to happen." So, you literally haven't gotten a prediction right. A third said, "At this, I wouldn't doubt it, but I'm still trying to process 2020 in a year." However, other users pointed out that a lot of the self-professed time travelers' claims were too grandiose to be believable, but Yormani defended themselves by explaining that they only do the very important ones. So we shall see if any of these dates, if any of that does happen, yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I know if we get an interstellar combat with the others, we're probably going to lose.
And these other humans is a little interesting.
Yeah,
Are these other humans the others?
It could be. The others. I don't know. Pretty strange. But hey, that's what we're here for, right? Well, speaking of weird, that's what we're here for, right? We all keep talking about, computers and robots. Robots this, robots that. Well, here's a robot that... One of them chess playing robots. Come on. There it is. Chess robot breaks boy's finger during a tournament.
I was going to do that 3 months ago. That's been on my backup list.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep. I seen this one and I was like, I don't think we've done this yet, have we? I don't know. We may have. But yeah, I just figures with all the robot action going on, the bizarre accident occurred while the robot was playing a game of chess against a 7-year-old opponent. When AI chess players, autonomous robots playing an ever-increasing role during tournaments, it was inevitable that something would go wrong sooner or later. Just like with, you think it's bad with a chess playing robot breaking your finger. Think what it would be like with one of those sex robots. Oh, it wouldn't be your finger. Sadly, this prediction came true in a disturbing fashion during the recent Moscow Open when a chess-playing robot grabbed the finger of an unsuspecting 7-year-old opponent. Unable to release himself from the robot's grasp, the boy was able to attract the attention of 2 men nearby who rushed over and attempted to force the robot to let it go. They eventually managed to release the boy. However, it turned out that the robot's grip had already broken the boy's finger. According to Sergei Shmangin, vice president of the Russian Chess Federation, the problem had occurred because the boy had moved too quickly and the robot had taken one of its pieces. The robot did not like the boy being in such a hurry. He grabbed the boy's index finger and squeezed it hard. The people who rushed around helped pull the finger out of the robot's hand, but the fracture could not be avoided. So the robot was like, "Hey, bitch, it ain't your turn yet." Grabbed hold of his finger. And, just saying. I don't think the robot was programmed to do that.
This is why. That's
how we learn.
I am not trying to ruin people's fun. I swear.
Yeah.
We just foresee these things happening, and no, it can be way, way, way worse. Yeah. I see some of these right now that already look like they have straight attitude. This lady in Russia that has all these I can't think of his name, but this guy already scares the hell out of me, this robot. He's becoming a famous one, and he looks like a serial killer already. He's got the offset eye. Oh, my gosh.
Yep. Yeah, a real weird look on his face. All
You know which one I'm talking about? Like he's just like, and he looks over like I'm just waiting.
Yep. I'm waiting to make my move. On
Lift him up by the neck and just choke him.
Oh man, we got such a great future. It's like Hellraiser. I have so many.
Not this future though. I want to jump in an RV and just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
This is not the future for me. I'm not cut out for this type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, those are weird looking robots. They're thinking stuff they haven't been programmed to think about.
They're self-learning.
They are
sentient.
So they're becoming sentient.
So this one graphic, human skulls found in a box at a Mexico airport bound for the U.S.
I ordered a box of skulls off Amazon earlier. How peculiar.
Yeah, well, I think it went to the wrong address.
Yeah, Etsy skulls.
So those are the actual skulls. They're wrapped up that way.
Looks like they're wrapped
in what?
Tinfoil.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Mexico, the Mexican National Guard said it discovered 4 skulls apparently of human origin that were scheduled to be sent to South Carolina. The package was registered to a courier, and I can't say that word, and parcel company, and guardsmen made the discovery inside the Intercontinental Airport, where they authorized to carry out random searches for narcotics, firearms, and currency. A news release from the Mexican government stated. Guard members said X-rays of the cardboard box detected abnormal organic material, which required further inspection. When authorities opened the box, they found 4 skulls in different sizes wrapped in transparent plastic and aluminum foil. The remains were apparently sent from the municipality of wherever in some other place, addressed to Manning, South Carolina. Authorities said the package did not have the required documentation to support its shipment, and the Mexican Attorney General is investigating the discovery. No details on the people involved or reason the shipment were included in the news release. So, yeah, got some mysterious. I mean, were they sending it out, for like a science thing, a science study? Was it a family and they sent it as a statement? Like, where did these heads come from?
Yeah.
And what was their intended purpose?
There's a shop here in town. I went in it, and there's human skulls that are for sale in there. Like, I didn't think that was legal.
Maybe they're getting them in Mexico.
Yeah, they could have been shipped to South Carolina, and they drove up there and got them. I don't know. I'm just looking it up online right now, theboneroom.com. The Bone Room cannot ship any real human bones to the following states: Georgia, Tennessee, Louisiana. International restrictions may apply, but any other state, I guess you can buy a real human skull. Apparently from the Bone Room. Human bone laws and information. In short, it's perfectly legal to possess and sell human bones in the United States. There are a few exceptions and addendums, however you say that word, including a few states where import and export has been banned, and of course, protected archaeological resources covered by Native American Graves Protection and Reparation Act. For more information on the specifics, please visit our Bone FAQ page. So this is a place that sells human bones and skulls. And not only do they have normal human skulls, they have fetal and child skulls and pathological human skulls. Wow. I did not know. There's something new you learn every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Sean says, is that legal? I guess it is.
Well, maybe people who give up their body for stuff.
Shop local, exactly. Yeah, I was in a store here. It's like a treasure hunting store, and I'm looking around, and I see these skulls in the cabinet, and they're like, $1,600, $2,000, and they've got like gemstones and stuff on them, or gold or whatever as decoration.
On the skull.
And yeah, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, that shit looks real. Guy behind the counter, I was like, are those real? He's like, yeah, those are real. Wow. I'm like, damn, where'd you smuggle that shit in from? I didn't know it was legal. I was like, damn, that's crazy. They got human skulls like for sale. I don't know. I'd be kind of weird. I'd be kind of, I like bones. I got animal bones here. I got animal skulls. Snake skulls, possum skulls. I got some skulls around here and bones, horse jaws, and all kinds of things. I don't know. I'd be a little kind of weirded out if I had a human head sitting. I mean, I got skulls here that aren't real, but if I look back there and I'm like, yeah, that's a real one.
Yeah, like it didn't have eyes and a brain and memories and a life and everything.
Yeah, I'd be, I don't know. I'd be a little weirded out about that. Maybe I get used to it. I don't know. So far, though, I don't have a big impulse to go out and buy a human skull.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things that it just has to happen.
Yeah.
Be at the right time. Like some crystals speak to you, and some skulls speak to you.
I got a bunch of crystal skulls. I got one on layaway right now at the crystal shop, but that's pretty badass. And it's kind of expensive. And I'll have it here sooner or later. But anyways, yeah, I don't know about a real skull. But then again, crystal skulls, they got some mojo to them too. So Wolfie says they gave Miss Wolfie permission to sell my bones on eBay when I pass.
What is that, your femur, your arm bone? Yeah, that's about 12 inches, isn't it? Like your elbow to your...
I got one more quick one. And
all right.
Throw it in there. This one is it's one of those maybe. Come on. Where you at? Why does this damn thing always give me a hard time?
And then I just have that UFO thing.
Has the face of Jack the River. The River?
Jack Tripper?
Jack Tripper? Wasn't he on that show with the two girls? Jack something Tripper? No, that's a different thing. Jack the Ripper, the face. His face has finally been revealed. Question mark. Has it?
He looks like a Whoville character.
Man, why did it go away? What the hell is going on? My computer is like one of these robots. It has a mind of its own. It's like, I'm going to do what I want when I want. You have no control over me. What is happening? Is this real life? Why does this stupid picture keep disappearing? Let's try this one more time. Maybe Jack the Ripper's haunting me. He doesn't want his face shown. Try it again. Okay. Is it there? Stay there. Okay. Has the real face of Jack the Ripper finally been shown? With a question mark, because I don't know. Let's see what it says. The only known facial composite of the infamous serial killer was etched into the handle of a walking stick. It's one of the best known and enduring murder mysteries the world has ever known. Yet more than 120 years after Jack the Ripper's killing spree through the streets of London, there has never been a definitive answer as to who he really was. Now, though, an intriguing clue has resurfaced in the form of a facial composite image of the culprit etched into the handle of a walking stick owned by Scotland Yard detective Frederick Aberline, who has spent several years of his life attempting to track him down. The walking stick itself has been kept at a police college in Hampshire for years and was later presumed lost. But now, in an unexpected twist, it was recently rediscovered by staff who had been searching through the archives at the college of the policing headquarters in Brighton. Finding this cane was an exciting moment for us, said college and content creator Anthony Gash. Sounds like a stripper I heard of. Jack the Ripper is one of the biggest and most infamous murder cases in our history, and his crimes were significant in paving the way for modern policing and forensics, as it caused police to begin experimenting with and developing new techniques as they attempted to try and solve these murders, such as crime scene preservation, profiling, and photography. This walking cane is such a fascinating artifact which represents such a historically significant time in policing. Whether this composite will actually help to finally solve the case, however, remains to be seen. What I wonder is, it's a walking cane. It's got a face carved into it. How do they know that it's Jack the Ripper's face that was carved into it? Could be anybody.
That's exactly what I keep thinking.
Yeah. I mean, if it is, I don't know, they got to have some reason to think that that's him. The only known facial composite of the killer was etched into the handle of a walking stick. Well, how do they know that? How do they know it's him? Could have been his uncle. Could have been Joe the bread maker from down the street. Could have been the guy that made the cane. Or it could be Jack the Ripper. He's pretty damn creepy looking, whoever it is. He's got eyes like a dog.
Like the Grinch.
Yeah. Roll back in his head. I don't know.
Curious and curiouser. All right. I got one. Joe Biden orders probe into UFO piloted by aliens in 1945. This was just put out, I think today or yesterday. 4 years, aliens or extraterrestrials have been part of fiction work across cultures, and many novels, movies, and series have portrayed their rendition of how life beyond the planet may look. Some portray aliens as friendly, while others show them to be hostile. However, we have still not been able to establish if there is life beyond Earth. However, there are first-person accounts of UFO sightings and even creature sightings that still need to be got to the bottom of. And the U.S. may just start digging into these facts soon. Yeah. And in typical Joe Biden fashion, that's the only information that he's giving out about that. So we shall see what Joe Biden probes into.
Anybody see the stories about those crazy lights they've been seeing over the sky in Vegas, where your mom and your sister are right now?
Mm-hmm. There was Vegas, and then there was also all those lights over this other state.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like New Year's. Like there might be like event lighting and
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I mean, I've seen some event lighting before that at first I was like, what the hell is that? I was legitimately kind of like freaked out. And then
San Antonio.
okay. And then I found out it was those big, revolving event lights, and it was just shining up on the clouds. And it was real weird looking, but I figured out what it was. It was debunked. But at first I was like, what in the what the hell is that?
In the hell?
But I don't know. I think this year we're gonna start seeing some weird stuff. Like shit hasn't gotten weird enough already.
It's definitely going to go up a level, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what's everybody think about, that the Brian, whatever the hell his name is, the supposed suspect that killed the 4 people in Idaho?
Mm-hmm.
They found him.
His parents had put him on a watch. His mom knew that some stuff was going to go down, so she tried to go save him. And she goes, "My son has been radicalized by some people like online. You guys need to watch him." So they put him on a watch list, and he went and did that.
A little too late.
Mm-hmm.
A watch list that should have been on.
I mean, he was on the watch list when this happened.
Yeah.
He was already on it. So I don't know what they were watching.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Or how that works.
Yeah. And they haven't found the murder weapon. I mean, if you watch the media, I mean, he's the killer.
Yeah, they said like a week out, like 3 days after that, they had the exact knife that they knew it was. Even though I don't even know how they got that back from the labs yet.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have the knife, but yeah, they could tell by the wounds of what kind of knife it was. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
They knew exactly what Ty-Bar knife it was.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Before they even got back any other DNA, which takes a while. It just seems strange.
Yeah, Debbie says, I don't watch the news. I have no idea what you're talking about. Exactly. It's probably good. It's probably a good thing. I don't usually watch the news either, but I do watch YouTube, and it's all over YouTube. But yeah, a guy, I won't say a guy, someone went into college town in Idaho, I think it was the state. Mm-hmm. And there were 6 people living in the house. They'd all been out partying. And 2 girls were in one bed, and a guy and a girl were in the other bed. They went to sleep, whatever. And there's 2 other roommates. I think they were on the downstairs level. Anyway, they woke up and, everybody's like, blah, 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 blah. And, they go to check on the other roommates, and they had 4 people had been stabbed to death. Blood everywhere, So, yeah, a weird thing. That, 4 people got stabbed to death, and the other 2 didn't, and they didn't wake up. And, it's weird you think one person being stabbed may be kind of quiet, because if they're sleeping, you stab the shit out of them and it's over with, and they don't have much chance to fight. 4 people, you can't stab them all 4 at the same time, because 2 and 2 are in 2 different rooms, and there's got to be some kind of noise. There's got to be some kind of commotion, a little bit of fighting back, maybe. I don't know. I've never stabbed 4 people to death, so I'm just speaking out of my ass. But and then there's the thing about the 2 roommates that didn't they didn't wake up, they didn't hear it, they didn't, whatever. But I've been a college age person too, and sometimes when you're out partying all night and you go home and go to sleep, or in other words, pass out because your ass is drunk as hell, you might not wake up during a bunch of noise because, how many times have you seen people that are passed out and, they get the whole.
And you learn to like tune it out because it could just be people screwing around. So you try to tune it out so you can sleep.
Or they're just passed out. I mean, how many times have you seen the Sharpie face? People putting cans on people and they're just out.
Penis forehead. The Sharpie penis forehead.
So who knows? I don't know. But yeah, supposedly, a couple months later now they've caught this guy who supposedly did it. They don't have a murder weapon. They supposedly found his DNA at the scene of the crime. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't believe anything anymore.
And there's always weird stuff that happens around anytime there's like college kids type things. We talk about it's not good for tourism, but anytime it has to do with college kids, there's the police always act extra weird, and it's like they're always it always seems like they're covering something up.
Yeah,
these cases are weird to me.
The girl says it's not easy to stab 4 people to death in one house with others also in the house. This is strange. Yeah. And I get how, the other 2 people, they may have been out cold, if they were out drinking or whatever. But I mean, just like when I first heard it, like very first, when it came on the news and I heard it, I was like, that seems weird. Not saying it couldn't happen, just that it seems really strange.
The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, it ain't mathing up right. I don't know. But yeah, supposedly I was thinking they had one kid that was suspect that he had been there. They see him on video and everything. And he disappeared. He went to South Africa with his parents. His dad was a doctor or something. And all of a sudden they make this, hastily leave and go to South Africa. And I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. School just started back up. Why is this kid taking a vacation? Did they have this vacation planned like for a long time, or did they just suddenly haul ass to South Africa? And is he going to come back with his parents? I thought that was kind of suspicious. So now they're off him and they're on this guy and they have him in custody. And if you look at any of the media, it's like, he's the one, he did it. He's guilty. He's a killer. And everybody's talking about him. I don't know. And he was studying like criminal law, which is another kind of strange thing.
Yep. Criminal justice or criminal law.
Yeah. And yeah, there was a ton of blood. Supposedly so much that it was leaking out of one of the exterior walls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
That's a rage killing.
And yeah, and like
overkill or rage killing, that's personal. You're upfront and personal with your victim.
Yeah, I mean, why? Was he
so unless you're wanting to get off on it, on the torture aspect, or you're angry for some reason.
Yeah, did somebody diss him? I mean, if so, well, one person pissed me off. I'm just gonna kill extra 3. Too bad I didn't get to the other 2. I don't know. He's like Pringles. You can't just eat one. I can't just stab one. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's hard. It's like he only knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only person that can answer these questions is him.
Yeah, and he says he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drunken rage. Is he pissed off because he got rejected by one of the girls, or maybe the guy? Who knows this day and age? But I don't know. Kind of weird though. Yeah, and it's not kind of weird. It's definitely weird.
It's sad.
Yeah. It's I'm making jokes, but it's no laughing matter, really. Trying to look for one other picture that I thought I had included here. What in the tarnation? So did anybody do anything fun and exciting over New Year's Eve or the Christmas holidays or anything like that? I didn't do anything. Stayed home. It was New Year's Eve, and it was Darcy and my anniversary. We didn't do anything. Stayed home and worked on a bike all night. Woohoo! Exciting.
On New Year's Eve?
Yeah. It was foggy and weird here, and I don't know. We went for a bike ride the next day on New Year's.
That's cool. Is that when you were like taking the tires out or fluffing your tires?
Yeah, I put
The
Tanis
liner?
Tanis tire armor in my tires because they're supposedly I can jam a nail in them and still ride home on a flat tire. I don't know how true that is. I've seen videos of it that look pretty good, but I don't know. Yeah, I stayed home and I did that and did some other upgrades. Just did some more upgrades to Darcy's bike tonight. Put a new shorter crankshaft and new pedals on it.
Nice.
It's got these dope red pedals that match her red bike.
Oh, yeah? You're going to have to show me.
Yeah. Yeah, they're e-bikes. They have electric rear hub motors in them.
That's what Jeff's and I's bikes are like.
Yeah, I was like, I used to hate
one of them, the one I have is like yours, and then the other one is different somehow.
Yeah, I didn't really. I was always like, e-bikes. What the hell's the purpose, you know? But then once I rode one, I'm like, oh, geez, I love these things.
And the scooters, and they're perfect for like, with the gas and just the prices of everything. If you just want to like run to the store real fast, like they're way easier than charging like an electric car. It's like the simplest, coolest thing for like a quick little emergency around town, or I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
You got to get them helmets.
Yeah. I got helmets right now, but I can't. They're not.
No, you got to get the radio helmets.
Yep.
It's going to be so much nicer when you can just talk like that. It's a world different.
Yeah. At first I was like, I got bikes. I got a garage full of bikes. It's ridiculous. But a bunch of them are for sale now. But yeah, I mean, at first I was like, an electric bike, man. Why? What's the purpose? I'm not going to get any exercise off that. But you can actually, it's like riding a bike. I mean, you can pedal as much or as hard as you want. And they're heavy, so you can turn the motor off and just pedal it like normal. And you get a workout. There's no doubt about that.
And then if you need like a little assist, if you're going up like a hard hill, or if you have like an injury on your knee or something, you just have like a little assist.
Yep.
And you're still able to keep riding.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love them. How fast do they go? Mine is unlocked, and I've got a couple of them, and they do like 20. But if you unlock the little computer on them, they'll do close to
30. Yeah. I think 30 was just the scooter.
Yeah.
I was going by I clocked myself at like 24 or 25 going by one of them signs. You know how like they flash and say how fast you're going?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And they get me out like, I've got a regular mountain bike too, and I can go ride it in the mountain bike trails. But if I really want to go like trail riding and go 10 miles out in the middle of nowhere or whatever, that's cool and all. But then you got to come back too. And
Exactly.
Make sure you, I don't know, these just allow me to go a lot further, see a lot more, exploring a lot further than a regular bike. And, in case you do get hurt, in case, I'm freaking old and fat. Like, I'm not a kid anymore.
We're not spring chickens anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to be 59 next week. What the hell? I never planned for that.
Rob's birthday's on Friday the 13th this year. How cool is that?
Friday the 13th.
January 13th. Look today. Friday.
I didn't even realize that until you told me that today.
So cool.
But yeah.
And now one of the things I was sending is like perfect for the date. So I'm like, woohoo, that worked out to be a happy accident.
Yeah. I'm not old and fat, huh? I'm definitely fat. I'm pretty old. Some days I feel old. Some days I feel a lot older than I am. But I feel a lot better than I was a few months ago. That's for damn sure.
That's important.
Telling Jamie today, a few months ago, I didn't even feel like waking up. I was to that point when I was having all the heart issues and everything else. Zariana's birthday is today. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I didn't even see it pop up on birthdays. I was looking at the Facebook birthdays when I got on my computer today. I didn't see her name on there.
She was stealthing in on us. Yep. I remember riding my bike as a kid. I distinctly remember riding my bike down Magnolia Avenue and looking at all the oak trees on the road. And one of my friends was like, we were talking about the future, and I don't even know. We were talking like 1990 or something. And at that time, 1990 was like, that's like crazy talk. That's the future, man. And then I remember again, thinking 2020, 2022. It's like, really? That's like George Jetson's, and we're gonna, I can't even plan for that far ahead. And now it's 2023. Wow. Time flies. Being weird. So, yeah, Jamie had mentioned we were going to do some cards tonight, but we've been jabbering crazy. And it's almost 2:00 in the morning here for me.
Yeah, so, it's that time, and I got to go secure windows because this wind.
Yeah, Jamie's got the Pineapple Express going on out there, and it ain't the kind that you puff in the pipe.
Schmook. But I did get a lot of different little random cards for Christmas too, and some really cute ones. Like, let me give you guys a quick affirmation card for everybody. This is a Crystal Angels deck. No book, no nothing. It's just a little like $4 or $5 deck. Stocking stuffer deck here. And we're going to pull one for everybody. It might apply to you. It might not. I like these because it's written right on it. We have the Smoky Quartz card. And let me grab a piece while I'm talking. All right. Smoky Quartz. Clearing negativity. Release negativity from within or around you. And that's a big theme to go with the new year and what we're releasing right now with the full moon and everything. The full moon is a releasing moon. The new year, you release what no longer serves you, what no longer gives you purpose. We do that for the new year. We do that for the full moon. That's coming up in a couple days. So I think that's a pretty good card for all of us right now.
Amen to that.
Yeah, a piece of smoky quartz I found.
Nice. Even better when you find it.
Yeah, I'll post it on a Facebook so you guys can see the pretty picture.
Pretty pic. I like the pretty pictures.
The pretty pain cave.
I like the bright lights. Well, anyways.
Hope everybody has a good night and a good week.
Yeah, I've been cutting a lot of carbs, but man, I blew it in the last couple of days. I've eaten a couple pieces of bread and today 3 pieces of chocolate.
I blew it with ice cream. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh shit! And I had cheesecake for dessert. Yeah, I totally just porked the pooch on this one. But tomorrow's a new day, right? So yep, we'll see y'all next time around. This Sunday will be on Paranormal Soup.
I'm not sure the guest or the topic.
Sunday, I'm playing a gig Sunday. Hopefully, I'll be back in time. Sunday.
Alright. Sunday.
I know in March I'm playing a gig every Sunday in March.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. But I should be home in time. So I think we could
play
plan
that by ear.
I think we could plan at 9 or 9:30. So, but it's like a 45-minute drive for me because it's down in Flagler County, Palm Coast area.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. All right. Well, hope y'all had a great new year. Thanks for hanging out with us as usual. Our first show of the year. Sounds so weird when I say we haven't seen you since last year.
Sounds so weird that we're having another first of the year.
Yeah, exactly. How did that?
It's going to be March and then it's going to be August and then it's going to be October again.
Yep. Time just flying by.
The days are long. Wait, how do they say it? The days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
We got to make the best out of it, the most out of it.
Exactly.
Keep living.
I mainly play a bass guitar, D, but also play some regular guitar, and I play cigar box guitars and weird oil can guitars and drums, and I play all kinds of stuff. Even play with myself from time to time. It's probably TMI. But there you go. There you have it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see ya.
Blessed New Year.
Yoo-hoo.